Alright, so here I am leaving St. Peter's now, and I went to confession this afternoon before the Mass here, the last Mass at the Basilica, and I sort of made a general confession of like the last 5 to 10 years. Not in specifics, but in the tendencies, you know. And I confessed my conversion to Orthodoxy. Now, see, this is, I was confessing in the Vatican. Now, when I was here, was it the last time I was here? I can't even remember, but I was here back in 1993. I've been here since, I think. I lose track. I travel so much, you know. But in 1993, I came here to visit my brother and Tom, our friend Tommy, who were here studying abroad at the Loyola University in a Chicago Rome program. And the word was there that the priests here, the confessors at the Basilica, were really tough with their with their penances, you know, like old school tough. So I didn't confess when I was here. I remember kind of avoiding going to confession. But anyway, I went today, and he was old school, but he wasn't. The confession, the penance wasn't tough at all. He gave me 7 Hail Marys. But he told me that I should pray for the souls in purgatory. And, you know, I just gotten done confessing my conversion to Orthodoxy and all these issues. I ain't going into specifics. I just glossed very quickly and said, you know, like, I've been caught up in this intellectual and spiritual pride, and, you know, my spiritual life has been a mess. I've been, you know, I haven't been at peace like a lot of the times, at least in the superficial sense, you know. And so he goes and tells me to go pray for the souls in purgatory. And says, you know, he was talking about the distinction. One of the sins I confessed. I confessed missing Mass 3 weeks ago, and I've been to Mass many times since. And I confessed a week later, and I forgot to actually mention that, which, you know, I'm still covered. But, you know, I wanted to specifically mention it and say, you know, I'd missed Mass, and then I've been between my confession and that Mass. I'd been to Mass again and received. And he was like, well, you really, you know, he told me what I already knew, that I really shouldn't have done that, and that, you know, a mortal sin needs to be confessed. You know, so he does 2 things here. He's telling me, he was very strict here, like, mortal sins have to be confessed, which is, you know, that's the line in the catechism, that's the magisterial line. So I'm not complaining about that, but you know, when he told me to pray for the souls in purgatory, and he started, like, lecturing me on mortal sin, I'm like, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, Father, you're like the first priest in, like, I can't even remember the last I don't even know if anyone's ever done it before. I can't remember it. If they did it, it was like ages ago when I was a child. You know, when I was a child, I went to confession like 6 times in my entire life before my reconversion, my re-embrace of the faith when I was 21. Before that, I'd been to confession maybe 6 times in my entire life. I'm saying that I don't know exactly, but it wasn't very many. And I know that I've never heard a single time, to my memory, have I ever heard the word purgatory from the pulpit during a Mass, or, for that matter, the word hell. You know, I don't remember either of those words ever being mentioned once in a homily. I'm 37 years old, okay? I was born in 1971. And I've never heard either of those words in a sermon that I can remember, okay? It may have happened a long time ago. But like the last 10, 15 years, 15, 20, like since I was 21, I would remember this. I'd remember very clearly because it never happens. I remember the word birth control or contraception. I've heard it exactly twice from a pulpit, and I remember it very clearly because I almost had a heart attack and fell out of my pew. But you know, the point is that these words aren't the old school teachings aren't being taught, you know, and that's one of the things that really, really infuriates me. And it's like, you know, feeds this anger that is corrosive to me spiritually. You know, you have to come to bloody St. Peter's in Rome to hear the the old school Catholic line. They hear the truth, right? This is the truth as I accept it, as I believe it. You know, I believe these things, and I never hear them taught. And I'm like, okay, I was thinking again, Father, you know, I'm of my generation, of my nephews and my cousins and my brothers. I have 2 brothers and probably I think 13 or 14 cousins that were baptized Catholic. I'm the only one that goes to Mass on a regular basis, that goes to Mass like I should. I'm the only one that confesses. I have a brother and a cousin, I think, that are sporadic, that go occasionally. And then the rest of them, to my knowledge, are gone. They've left the church in effect. They don't practice. And so, you know, again, this does not make me happy. You know, I kind of lose my patience. I lose my temper. You know, I get furious. Like I'm not so much. I guess it's not even emotional. It's like an existential anger. You know. And you know, the last thing the fact that when I mentioned that I'd converted to Orthodoxy, he says, "What are you now?" And I told him I'm Catholic. I didn't say that like I consider myself to be an Orthodox Catholic of the Roman Rite, and I will never call myself a Roman Catholic again because I think that that's too parochial. You know, it's too